chance to beat Bennett or Romanoff.
I think this is an election about integrity. It is about the kind of character that we are electing. When we ask a person to go back and represent us, do they have character and integrity? Almost everywhere we go on the campaign trail, people say, Jane, if you go back to Washington, will you drink the water? And every single candidate gets asked that question, will you get Potomac fever? And I have to tell you, I do think it's fair to talk about your record, Ken. You have a record of increasing your budget when you were at Weld County's DA's office by 40%. I've had 2 budgets entrusted to me by the taxpayers of Colorado. One when I was head of the health department and one when I was lieutenant governor. In both of those budgets, I cut them. My general fund appropriation cut by 28% of the health department, 10% when I was lieutenant governor. Your budget, Ken, has grown by 40%. Rep C, I was for it. I was for allowing the people of the state to have a vote. The people in Weld County don't have a vote whether your budget increases by 40% or not.
People of Weld County voted twice and have elected me twice. Not only that, they vote in the county commissioners who oversee my budget. And not only that, my budget hasn't increased by 40%. But Jane, you say that your budget decreased. Well, there was a fact check on Channel 9, and they quoted that line, your budget has increased, or that you have decreased your budget, and the next sentence is, this is not true. Now, that's not Ken. That is an independent group that took a look at that and made that determination. The reason that I will beat Michael Bennett or Andrew Romanoff is because I have walked the walk. I have not supported the largest tax increase. I will not support a tax increase. And the voters in this state have evaluated that, and they have given me their support in the caucuses. They have given me their support at the assembly, an assembly which you chose to forfeit and go around the system. I will continue to look the voters of this state in the eye and ask for their support and gain their support. Thank you.
And you have a minute and a half. Where's the money coming from to pay for your television and other advertising?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't know where that money is coming from.
Lie.
Did you say lie? Did someone say something? There is money that is being spent on everyone's campaign from independent expenditures. I have no idea. If I did have an idea, I would be breaking the law, and I am not breaking the law. Now, I got to tell you something. There are a lot of people in this state and in this country who are frustrated with the fact that establishment politicians have been chosen by John McCain and others in Washington, D.C. They have been funded by lobbyists, and they act out, and they choose to fund independent expenditures. And those independent expenditures make the decisions on what commercials to run and what radio commercials to run and other things. I don't have any idea. We hear about it after those commercials are run. That's the first I hear about it, and I don't know who funds them. And frankly, I don't care who funds them. And I don't care whether they are positive for Jane or positive for Ken. I don't appreciate the negative advertisements that are being used by the Norton campaign with the Norton money. And I hope whatever independent expenditures are out there, stay positive.
Let me just say, Kenny has benefited from $1 million from a 527 donor, one donor, and people are concerned about special interests and what they play in the role of politics today. Ken, your last FEC report, 30% of your donors came from that same company. So I think it is important that people look at the FEC complaint that was filed to see what the coordinated efforts are. To my campaign, we do it the old-fashioned way. It is by going through and talking to Colorado voters and getting their... We have about 6,000 donors. 86% of them are Colorado-based. But it's no surprise that we have people all across this nation that are interested interested in this race because they know that Jay Norton can beat Michael Bennett come November. So we're getting donations from all over. And folks, Michael Bennett is raising, I think last told, $6 million. So it's going to take a lot of money to do this, both inside and out of Colorado. But I am so proud and pleased to say that we've got 86% of our donors are right here from Colorado.
The next question is, will you detail and specify your pro-life policy?
Yes, I will. Again, this question talks to the importance of integrity. And people can talk about being pro-life, but talk is cheap. Have you actually walked the walk? And when I became head of the state health department, we were confronted with an issue that had not been dealt with for a number of years. And let me take you back to 1984, when the voters of this state had a vote before them. It was a constitutional question. It wasn't were you pro-life or were you pro-choice. It was, do you want your state tax dollars going to fund abortion? And the voters of Colorado said, no, we don't. And in 1986, just 2 years later, the same question was posed to the voters of Colorado. Do you want your tax dollars going to fund abortion? And again, by a bigger margin, the people of the state said, no, we don't. And previous administrations had ignored that constitutional amendment. But Bill Owens, and when I was head of the state health department, we enforced the law. So I have a history of being pro-life. More importantly, working to ensure that we have a culture of life where at every continuum of life, whether it is the disabled, the sick, the elderly, the infirm, the preborn, have a right to life. And I have worked extensively on adoption when I was your lieutenant governor. Thank you.
I am pro-life, and it's one of the areas that Jane and I have a difference on. And as to walking the walk, I have been a member of the board of directors of the Genesis Project of Northern Colorado for years, an organization that has raised money to build a home for teenage pregnant girls so that they have a supportive environment to raise their children. Jane is in favor of the 3 exceptions to abortion, and you can go to our website and you can see that. I am not. I am in favor of only life of the mother exception. And the difference is that I don't believe that you take the life of an unborn child because of the crime of the father. That is more than just a subtle difference in viewing the life of the unborn.
Okay, Mr. Buck, you'll go first on the next question, and that is,